going on, guys? Tonight I am going to strip down one of the transmissions I've got for the XS650. I've got tons of spares, so they're all the same. I'm going to go ahead and strip it down, clean it. I might dig out the tumbler and do a micro polish on this. We'll see how it looks after I clean it up. Let's just go through the process and see how she turns out. Alright, I'm going to dry this stuff up and then we will get it taken apart and go from there. Get this thing, we'll just start with the front drive here, put some things. Yeah, it's just me, I like starting fresh with clean surface. Doesn't take too much for tools on these. About all you need. And some patience. And we shot it. Alright, great. Now I gotta find that. I got extras, but it's on the floor somewhere. I got extras. There's no real easy way. Yeah, it keeps moving. Basically what you're trying to do, so focus, is get this C-clip up and over all the channels. So getting it off of here, there's not much to work with. But once you get it started, it ain't bad. Just takes a little patience. So that one's apart. Well, I'm turning the camera off, find the missing C-clip, and tear the other one apart. Found it. Right there. A little bit more room on this one. This would typically have the bearing on it, or the seal. I'll just remove that now. There's a couple ways to start on this, but I think this big old bad boy might be seized on there. Stuff in the back end. I'm quite sure a lot of you guys are probably saying, I got a better way to do that. Sure you do. But you're not here, and I don't care. And now, she might be on there, but stick it in the press and get it off. But so that's fully disassembled here. I'll get the camera turned around here and pan over it. I think I will pull out the tumbler, and I'll probably toss these in. I'll pull them back in the parts washer one more time. We'll clean them up, and we'll come back. All right, so I've got the transmission broken all the way down here. I am going to throw it in the parts washer one more time. This thing's been sitting on the shelf for 2 years, but I will, if it'll focus here on this, might be too close. There we go. I'm going to throw it in the parts washer, but I will end up throwing these into the vapor hone cabinet just to get everything off them. There's a little bit of surface rust that the media will be able to clean up, but we'll go ahead and throw it in the parts washer, get it cleaned up. But I did go ahead and bust out the tumbler. So we will do a micro polish on this transmission. I'll talk about this a little bit more when I'm ready to dump them in. But let me go ahead and get this transmission fully cleaned up, parts washer, vapor hone, and I'll come back. All right, so I finished up with the cleaning them up in the parts washer, doing the vapor hone, and this is kind of how they've turned out. They look more of a matte finish, but everything is actually cleaned up. Let me get this turned around here for you so you can see it. They look pretty good, but what we'll do is go ahead and throw them into the tumbler here. We'll go ahead and polish it up. I'll run this for about 3 hours tonight. I'll pull them back out, see how they look. If I need to, I'll rerun them again tomorrow for a little bit longer, but I don't like to leave them in overnight just because it is water. They will start to rust up. Other than that, I will set up the camera here. I'll kick on the machine. We'll get them tossed in. You can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and let that go. I don't know if you can hear me. I'll let that go for about 3 hours tonight. I'll come back and check on it before I go to bed. I'll touch base in the morning and we'll continue the video there. All right, so I've let this rain for about an hour and a half now. I was gonna say, let me roll this around here. See if I can find one in here real quick. I saw one roll by. Oh. Yeah, that's a problem. They do get stuck inside the gears sometimes. So they're getting cleaned up. But the shafts and the bearings are looking better. So, there's that. I thought I saw one of the shafts. The gear. This is always the fun part. Starting to dig them out. I already have one pulled out though, so this is after an hour and a half, starting to clean up. I do have one already out. Let me dry my hand off. So that's only after an hour and a half and then drying it off. So I'll let it run. I might actually pull them out for the night and then just kick them off in the morning again for another hour and a half. But that's what they're going to start to look like. I realized I had the microphone off on the camera during this recording and for a couple other clips, but what I'm talking about is the transmission's all micro polished up, and we'll go over what it looks like. realized I recorded the first couple sections of this final video with no audio. So anyways, we've got this transmission fully back together now after being micro polished. I did put a 5th gear overdrive in this, so it's ready to go. With this, so what I typically run for gearing would be an 18 tooth front sprocket, a 32 rear with the 5th gear overdrive on the highway. It's like mint. So this is all ready. I did go ahead and micro polish the crank, which is not necessarily needed, but I did go ahead and do the cam as well. So it's all nice and cleaned up, micro polished. I'll say here, I'll show you the crank after me touching it. But with this all nice and cleaned up, micro polished, not really necessary, but I went ahead and did it anyway since I've got the tumbler out. Other than that, I don't know if you guys want a video of me putting this back together, so just like and comment or whatever below. I am going to do a 277 rephase on this crank, so if you want to watch a video of me throwing it back together in the press and getting it all trued up and welded, go ahead and shoot me a comment. Other than that, we're going to keep moving forward on this build. I will start breaking down the engine here soon. I've got so many extra spare parts like cranks and cams and everything else, so I figured I'd get some of this stuff pre-built and ready, so once I've got the engine broken down and cleaned up, it's a little quicker to go back together. Other than that, follow along for the build and we'll start getting this thing built. Thanks.